Something a little bit different today. Off to do some mini truck things. So my mate's coming around, he's coming to pick me up. We're off to Ballarat. He's bought himself a cab for his old Hilux. The idea is we go to Ballarat, pick the frame up, and then we're also taking our bikes. We're going to go to Black Hill Bike Park, and also probably just a local skate park there, because it looks like a pretty good setup. Go for a bit of a sesh, hopefully not die. There he is.
I think we might be lost.
So we got the cab. She's full Dodge. But yeah, not too badly built. Front end needs a bit of work, but new set of tubs. Come up alright. So just here at Ballarat Bike Park, going for a shred. Just gotta find the jumps now. Taste him. You're definitely committed. It's like, yeah, man. The fucking bike's ended up back in Portland somewhere. Hey! Dead man? Don't do that. Woo! Pretty good day yesterday. Went and got the cab. Mate's really happy with it. Yeah, it was all pretty good until I stacked. It was that was a bit rough, but it's because the rain's washed all the topsoil away and people were riding it as well, so all the rocks were exposed. And when I've crashed, I haven't exactly bounced or rolled, so now I look like I've ended up in a motorcycle accident. So a bit of bark off everywhere. It's definitely a killer spot. With a bit of time, those sort of jumps would be awesome. But anyway, it's sort of got us keen to build a set around here somewhere, but it's easier said than done. Back doing the exhaust. So tonight's plan is to get that out of the way, because I've definitely hit the bullet this time. Has to be done so I can get home. So you saw I built this section the other night, so I'm just going to make that to here now, weld it together, clean it up. Also, one thing to play with, especially working on joining current exhaust to something new, is clean inside the exhaust, because if you go firing this up, all the soot and shit, you'd be trying to burn through that and it'd just probably muck up all your welds. So it's always good to just get the wire brush, clean up inside there, give it a prep sale, and that should be more than clean enough to weld with now. So just saves you end up with completely chook shit welds, because you've left all the stuff inside and that's all just coming out as you're welding. So I'll tack this together, fit it under the car and have a look. It's just sitting up in there, sketchily tied in. I've cut off the front section of the exhaust there and got rid of the bracket here. So a lot of that was just hanging way too low. I can run it a lot closer. I might build another bracket to go to there. I'll see what I decide. This is the bend that I've got, so this is actually off the tail section. As you can see, it's all chopped up and everything, but it's worked out it's a pretty good angle to go from that front section of exhaust. So it'll sort of sit like that there. So it'll be a little bit kicked because the exhaust is coming in on the angle. Piece of straight. And then yeah, joins the other one. One way would be weld these two together and then flatten them. But the only thing I see with that is when you weld it together and then you go to flatten it down to oval it, you've also got to try and crush the weld and squish it. And MIG welds are very brittle trying to do that sort of stuff, so you'll probably find that it will crack. That's in my opinion. TIG weld might be a little bit more pliable, you might get away with it. But what I'm going to do is pull that section of exhaust back out, flatten this one out, get it to match, set it up. I've already marked the bottom side, so that's so that you can sort of see the line there. So it sits like that, and then I'll just flatten along there. I'm not sure if this exhaust is going to be the greatest thing to get out from underneath the car, but if it's a good thing, I shouldn't need to pull it out anyway. I've tacked my front pieces on, and even with the muffler off, can't get it in there now. Because you've got a cross member about here, cross member here, cross member here, and most of them are welded in because someone had a great idea to do that. So it means that I'm going to have to flange it somewhere, which luckily I bought some. I'm guessing around here somewhere. I've just got to be very careful that I don't weld it in a spot where the cross member is, because then it'll just clash, rattle and fucking bang on everything. So not having a complete win with this shit, but so I'll figure out where I've got to put these two flanges. Yay far along, and yeah, go again. Exhaust is now in, looking not too bad, come up pretty well. It's definitely higher than what it used to be, which is what I was aiming for. Probably could have used this section a little bit sort of this way, just so I could get it higher up in the trough there, but just the way things were lining up, it was just, yeah, it was just easier just to run it like that. Still more than high enough off the ground. Still plenty of gap between the cab and the cross member and everything, so it's not going to be hitting anything. It's now hanging instead of sitting on the bracket, which is a lot more desirable. And the muffler's not in a bad position. And I've got the old leaf blower there, ready to dust everyone out. Back in the exhaust, back on the Datsun. Could have used the pit, but the pit's full, so we're back on jack stands. Doing it the old way. Beggars can't be choosers. Plan is to do the tail section, so from the muffler, and bring it all the way back here to the bumper somewhere. I want to try and keep it hidden though, so I'll see how I go with that. The reason is I've left it there, and I've been driving around the last few days, and droning is just chronic. And it's doing me head in. If it was a V8, probably wouldn't be so bad, but because it's a 4-cylinder and probably sounds like a wet fart, it's just, yeah, it's no good. Most of the tail sections together, just tacked together. I need more bends, so I'm going to have to get some tomorrow, so I won't be able to finish it tonight. It's going to come around, and it's got to sort of bend around the diff. I may even need a new muffler, just because of the length of this one, where it's mounted. I probably should have thought about it a bit more. It's got to do a pretty wild bend to get up past the diff, and I sort of don't really want really sharp bends in the exhaust. But if I've got to, I'll have to. But if I can avoid it, I will. Yeah, I just need more bends, so this is probably diffs about here somewhere. So I'll just get another bend and bring it down, and then the diff should have plenty of clearance, so it's all sort of put together. I even put a bit of a relief there, just because that's where the cross member tube goes to hold the shocks, and when Datsun designed it they probably didn't expect old mate to be running 2 1/4 inch exhaust pipe through it. So it just gives me a little bit more room, and I was able to tuck it up a bit more and get it to where I needed to be. I even put the chrome tippy on there, just for shits and gigs, just a piece of 2.5 I had laying around. So I thought I'd chuck it on there for a laugh. So I'll put it in under the car and have a suss. So it's sort of a rough idea where it's going to sit. It's probably a bit dark, but basically it's just going to shoot out the back. Probably soot the shit out of my tail light, but yeah, you can sort of see what I mean. The bends are right there, but so is the diff. So I'm either going to have to put a bloody real sharp 90, go straight up, and then 90 on this piece, or I'm going to have to get a shorter muffler, and that'll push it back. So it means I'll need probably a couple more flanges as well. Just small things like that that catch you out. So anyway, I'll get to welding this thing. Going to paint it now. I'm probably just going to prime it for now and then fit it all up, get the front section built over the diff, and then I'll paint it tomorrow or when I get it done. But welded the bracket on as well. Yeah, the welds are pretty shit ass. So this is actually the original bracket. Managed to find it in the cupboard back in Narnia somewhere. I just using a old shocker rubber, so that'll just fit in there, goes through there, and then I've used one of the sort of cone washers on there from the same shop, so it sits on there like that. That pushes through the hole there, and then yeah, there's just another washer that goes over the plate. It's on the chassis and the bolt. Pretty simple. Section of exhaust is all together, tacked together at least. So up over the diff, down to the muffler. So I was trying to avoid having big sharp bends in this exhaust system, just trying to sort of keep it flowing and nice easy sort of bends, but the muffler where it's sort of positioned is where I want it, but it's just too long in the body. But I'm not hanging around waiting for a shorter muffler to roll up, because this thing's droning like shit and it's doing my head in. This will still work, just means that it's got a pretty sharp sort of bend here to go around, but it is what it is. Looks pretty cool in there though, going up all around the diff, and the room that we have, like, there's definitely not much sort of room between like the shock bar, the diff, and it's going to come around and basically straight into the muffler. If the muffler is probably, I don't know, another 5-10 inches forwards, probably be alright, but anyway. So I'll just weld this together, and then I'll prime it up, get it painted, get it bolted back in. The exhaust section is done. Fucking moss. Almost need 22 for the bastards. Anyway, it's in primer, just let it cure a bit, and then I'll hit it with the black, same as I did with the rest. I'll even tape off the chrome tippy again. It's not too bad the way it's come up. The only thing was, when I was welding, it still seemed a bit bright, and I've got the shade on 11, which is usually pretty good, pretty dark. and was still sort of hurting my eye, so I had a couple more goes and saw that there was a nice line in my welding screen. And what I found out was, I'll hold him up, you see those lines in there? So that means welding screen is cracked. Luckily the old man left his shield here before, so I've kind of commandeered that for the moment. So I'll get this painted, get it bolted in, hopefully that'll be the fix, won't be droning off its head. Exhaust is all up in there, looks pretty good. So yeah, pretty sharp in there, but it's going around the diff not too badly, plenty of clearance. It's fairly close there, but it's fairly sturdy, not going anywhere. And yeah, goes all the way up the front, it's all looking pretty good now. So it's all a lot better than what it used to be. And yeah, the back piece used to actually end about here somewhere. Used to just hit the leaf spring whenever the suspension come up. So it's good to fix that. Also I've run it further back and out the back and done a bit better job than old mate, because when I bought it he had the exhaust and it was just resting against the spare wheel there, burning all the tread off. So that wasn't too handy. But yeah, all in all pretty good.